Looks like she's successful.
Perfect. All right. Well, welcome everyone. So moving forward with the agenda, is there any declaration of pecuniary interest? Number 3, the consent agenda. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the consent agenda, namely the minutes? Are there any errors or omissions? May I get a mover and seconder for the consent agenda? Bill, seconded by Sheila. Thank you. Are there any additional agenda items? So actually, we already approved the minutes, so I'm going to move on to paragraph 6, which are city updates. So Rick, once again, I'll have you lead through the discussions and open up the issue for any board questions after each specific item. If you could please do that, I'll leave it with you.
Thank you. So the Bridges for Better business pitch competition is actually taking place as we speak. So I just got off that call. It'll run till about 1:30. We have 2 finalists, which are Findley's Fungus, which is a mushroom producer locally, and Urban Fix Technologies. So 2 pretty good contenders, and I watched their pitches and they did a good job. Prizes are outstanding. The community has stepped up, and the prizes for first place are $15,000 and the prizes for second place are $5,000. So I'll have at the next meeting, I'll have an announcement as to who the winners are, but you can probably, if you're interested, social media, go to our Millworks Facebook page and it'll be posted there probably by end of day who the winners are. So if you want to get that information, it's available. The speaker is Graham Sherman. He's started up a tool shed brewing company. I included his bio, but a great speaker. And he will be going on probably in about 10 minutes, I think, by the agenda. So that one's moving forward and moving forward smoothly. Any questions on that? Okay, I'll move to 6.2, project supported. First, the Algoma Trail Network. If I could ask Travis for a quick update on that one, please.
Thanks, Rick. We're just, similar situation to as reported last meeting. We're about 2 weeks away from concluding the construction. Just at this point, finalizing the Farmer Lake Trail, doing a little bit of water management given the vast amount of rain that we've had over the past week. So I'm hoping to be able to officially announce conclusion of the construction by the end of October. So once I have more information there, I'll be happy to share it with the board.
Great, thank you.
I have a quick question, but I'll open up to anyone else first. But I'm just curious, so this is going to conclude as of this month, presumably, but is there any work to be done next year at all? Or is this really the extent of our contract with the developers?
We're currently in the process of determining that. As of right now, the construction budget would be finalized at the end of this year. We do have an application in with TransCanada Trails to relocate the TransCanada Trail to the Farmer Lake Network, in which case we'd get some additional funding for that. And then on us, outside of the EDC, we've got some additional work with the Kinsmen to build a pump track at their location and a kids skills park.
That's fantastic. Okay, thank you, Travis.
6.2.2, that was the letter of support. Did you want to take that one, Paul?
Yeah, so we were requested to sign a letter of support for the Trails Network. And really, Rick, I don't have a copy there. I see it wasn't in the packet. But if you could just walk through the content of it. Or Travis, was that drafted by you as well?
Yeah, I had provided Rick a template. I'm not sure, Rick, if it's been modified from that. But I can clarify so that the application is slightly different than the ATN project. It's actually for connecting trail between 3rd and 4th line with a bridge over the Root River and connecting all the way up to Hiawatha. So it would allow visitors and local residents to ride through the hub trail all the way up to our new trail system.
So really what I wanted to do is put this on the agenda today is to seek the board's permission to sign that letter of support for the trails in the future. So if anyone has any questions, now's the time. Otherwise, if someone would, I'd entertain a motion to approve the letter of support for the trails / future program. So that's Robert, seconded by Bill. All in favor? So that motion carries. So Rick, if you could just forward me a copy of that letter again. I did see, I think that was a couple of weeks ago, right? So if you could just forward it again, and I'll sign that and get that back to you.
Will do.
Thank you.
6.2.3, the ITB project, working right now with NOHFC and FedNor to finalize a simplified ultimate recipient agreement for all companies who are receiving funding under the program. So we've been working with city legal over the last 3 months, but notified that due to potential conflicts of interest, the city legal department would not engage in the development of the agreement. So we've learned that the SSMIC has developed a simplified ultimate recipient agreement already, and it was acceptable to both government funding agencies. We've reviewed it with them, so they're now just giving us our blessing on that. We made a couple of small changes, and essentially we are just formalizing some of the operating practices and procedures that the ITB is going through just to meet the NOHFC and the FedNor funding requirements. So there's some documentation that needed to be produced. So we've got that built and put together. Any questions on that?
So for everyone's benefit, I have requested that there be an ITB update at our next board meeting, so that especially for some of the newer members who aren't familiar with the project, as it is about 1.5 years old now, actually probably over 1.5 years old. So I have requested that there be an update from the members as of November. So there will, look into your next package, you will see a more thorough and formal material, and they'll be able to provide a presentation and answer any questions that anyone might have.
Any other questions on that? Okay, the port update. We met with the Port of Antwerp, Mario Levens, who's the Director of Consulting, Malcolm White, and Tom Vare. We discussed some of the previous work. The Port of Antwerp was involved with SR back in the day when they were looking initially at putting the port together, and did have some pretty good background information from previous studies that were done and that they were involved with. So we did have a conference call with them, and we're going to have further meetings coming up with them to discover a path forward, but they were quite interested in partnering potentially with us, not from a financial standpoint, but partnering from a oversight and management and governance type of a project. So it's looking good. I'm actually quite positive on the outlook for this one. I think that there definitely is a path forward through this for us. So any questions on that one? Okay, I'll move on to the Canada Water Agency. We continue to work on the pitch for the Canada Water Agency. To date, we've completed a batch of public consultations, and we've got the website developed. I've included that in the package if you want to go take a look at it. It's coming together quite nicely. I think it will be a nice representation of the city, and we're doing the pitch videos right now. I think the editing has started today. The final filming was yesterday. So we'll have that up on the website shortly. And it's looking good for that one. So any questions on the Canada Water Agency?
I have some.
Sure.
That website, so it looks like it's put together very well, but there was one item on it. Now, who developed that? Was that by city staff, or was that outsourced?
City staff predominantly. It was developed by the team. So there's some city staff as well as some outside support for it.
There's just one part of the context I just wanted to question it, because it says on the website, I just pulled it up. It's that Sault Ste. Marie is next to one of the largest freshwater lakes in the world, Lake Superior. I thought that Lake Superior was the largest freshwater lake in the world.
That's a good question. I think by volume, it's not. I think the largest freshwater lake in the world is it's a lake in Russia, and I cannot remember the name of it, but I know by volume,
Okay.
it's not. But I think by sheer size, yes, it could be. So,
Great.
Tom, you got any insight on that one? I see you smiling.
Yeah, yeah, it was like a trivia pursuit. Yeah, you're right. It's Lake Baikal in Russia is the largest volume, and Superior has a surface area.
The largest surface area. That's what it was then. Okay. So,
Or sorry, Lake Baikal has the largest surface area of freshwater lake, and I think Superior is the volume.
right. Okay. Now, do we have any idea of when that decision is being made? I know I asked this back in the spring, I believe. Do we have any idea of when the decision is being made or how many different applicants there are for that agency?
As of today, no. There's been no real updates coming out of the federal government. We know that Regina is a contender and they were the first to take it out there, and they do have a YouTube video, quite lengthy one actually, that's out there with their pitch. So at this point in time, all we know it's ourselves and Regina. Could further people engage possibly, but we haven't heard anything yet.
Thank you.
Any more questions on that?
The Caspian Sea is the largest inland freshwater lake in the world.
Good. Here you have it. Somebody did the research.
I just asked Siri.
That's a sea. That's a sea. That's not a lake, Joe.
All right. Thank you for that, Joe. Millworks train station, that project's been completed, so we're going to remove it from our standing agenda. So we'll no longer be putting that on the agenda. As far as the downtown initiatives, the downtown plaza received approval from City Council at the September 27th meeting with a vote of 8-3 in favor. Construction costs are being finalized. The tender is going to be released shortly. Total cost of the project approved will be 8.4 million with a total city contribution of just shy of 7 million. In the month of September, the city was able to raise $954,000 in contributions. And once again, thank you very much to this group for the contribution. And I included a list of significant contributors as well in the agenda. Any questions on that?
Rick, are you anticipating some more announcements on this, or is this pretty much the final number that you're going to have?
Tom?
Yeah, I can comment. There will be more announcements. Actually, we've got quite a few donations that have come in over the last few weeks, so we're going to tee something up to do an announcement with all of them together.
Oh, fantastic.
Rick, is there any update on the mill market aspect to the project?
I can comment on that, Bill, as well. The mill market board has submitted a few different funding applications. So we're just waiting to hear back on those funding applications to finalize the go forward path on the renovations.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move to 6.2.8 industrial lands. I've submitted an RFP into our purchasing department, and essentially this is to the scope of the RFP includes getting us listed for all the industrial lands that are owned by the city and get them onto commercial websites. Right now, if you try to find any land that we have, i.e. our Yates site or the Lees Bay, you cannot see any of that land availability unless you contact us personally at the city. So this RFP is to engage a realtor to start representing us and putting that property out there, because we have, close to 100 acres right now that's available that a potential investor in Sault Ste. Marie does not have access to unless they actually call us. So we're putting an RFP out shortly to acquire a realtor who can start marketing it properly and get us some visibility on that land. Any questions on that? All right, and that's the extent of my updates. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rick. So future meeting dates, I'd like to set a board meeting, executive meeting right now if we can. So why don't we schedule the executive meeting for the 17th of November, and then the next board meeting will be the 24th of November. So Rick, with Sam away today, I'm not sure if you could relay that message to her when she is back, or if Kathleen could take care of that on her behalf. I'll leave that with you. Next, we're going to move into a closed session. Mr. Helwig, do you have any questions for any of us over any of the issues we discussed?
Not at this point, no.
Thank you, or you know where to find us if you do have any questions in the future.